On today's episode of Cult America, we explore Zakopane, Poland. My expectations for Zakopane were very similar to my expectations for the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty. I thought that these monuments would be so much bigger and grander than they actually were when I saw them with my own eyes. So coming to the city was a little bit of a strange experience because you think about it being quaint, quiet, with, very specific mountaineer architecture and regional food and regional dialect in Polish. But the reality of what I found when I reached Zakopane was that yes, these things existed. There was a lot of regional flavor and kind of like local uniqueness and a local charm, but it was completely overrun with tourists. Zakopane is a town that has an indigenous population of about 28,000 people, yet it's visited by over 2.5 million tourists every year. It's a very huge number for a town that doesn't have a very urban-style transit system. So you notice that there's not a whole lot of space in Zakopane. Sure, you could visit in the off-season. You'd have to deal with off-season kind of weather, but if you go when it's prime time, when everyone wants to go, the reality of the situation is that you find yourself sitting in very tight restaurants, walking down very, very tight streets that are overcrowded with people who also had this vision and imagination of visiting a place that would be as romantic and quaint and moving as any other great global landmark. What did I love about visiting Zakopane? Well, the first thing is the ski jump. I didn't actually see any skiers jumping off of this, but when you climb to the top of that hill and actually get a prospect of what those people deal with, what those athletes deal with when they do jump, you can't help but really respect how brave they are for attempting it, because you could, for $1 billion, I wouldn't go down that hill. And it's pretty cool to see a place that not only has this happening in reality, but boasts it as one of their local prides. When from my point of view, it's a completely insane sport. You could get killed ski jumping. The other thing I really, really liked was the usypek cheese. So this is very, very local and specific cheese made from goat milk, and it's smoked. And the first time you try it, you notice that it's got kind of a waxy texture when you chew it. It makes a very specific kind of squeaky sound almost in your teeth. And one of the things that I found novel about Zakopane was how much activity tourists could indeed do. Now you have to struggle with the place being overcrowded by other tourists, so doing those activities is a little bit like off-putting, but if you wanted to visit an aqua park or go skiing or watch some local performance, these things are all available to you. And it's not only in the wintertime, there's plenty to do in the summer. So my conclusion about Zakopane, it is indeed an overcrowded tourist trap, like Disneyland. But I've never heard about a child that was disappointed in their childhood trip to Disneyland. And Zakopane has a lot of the same magical appeal. Yes, you struggle to find a place to sit down in a cafe. You have to wait in lines. But at the end of the day, the artful soul of the city wins. And I would definitely recommend that anyone head to Zakopane, check it out, spend a nice evening there, or weekend, or week, or whatever. That was Cult America. Please like, comment, subscribe. Send me your show suggestions on Twitter and Facebook. I will see you next time.